all. Thanks. I'm Kristen Reedinger from Vickery Elementary.
And I'm Shay Wortman. I serve as a SEL support at Vickery Creek Elementary.
And we're here to talk a little bit tonight about Community Connect. This is an initiative in the West community of schools that we actually just kind of jumped off the ledge with this year just to get it started and see what we could do. But we talk a lot in our schools about social and emotional support and learning for students and building healthy environments. And actually over the course of the last couple years, at our local school council meetings, we would finish our business and then we would continue to have conversations about things that parents were struggling with personally, really, in terms of raising children. And just as a mother, I concur. It is not an easy time to raise children. And so a lot of our local schools council members just kind of talked about living in the most connected world that we've ever seen and yet feeling kind of disconnected as parents in terms of truly having a network of support for dealing with everyday things that we deal with as parents, and also some really big, harder topics like anxiety and depression, suicidal ideation, all of those types of things. So anyway, Shay and I and a couple of members of our local school council who are also parents and incidentally have students in all of our schools in the West Vertical, put this together and said, let's give it a whirl, see what we can do to support the families of the West community, and then kind of see where we go from there. So let me just say this. This is our big mission piece that you can see. But the important part is that Community Connect really seeks to create a place where parents can get information, glean ideas, create solutions for their families, and build a network of support. And we're a leader in Me School. We have a huge focus on proactivity. And so we're trying to really go after a proactive approach to health and wellness in the community by trying to reach out to families. All right.
And this has served more purposes than we could have really foreseen when we started this. It's also helped us to build bridges with local businesses and industry professionals in the area, and we've called on pediatricians, we've called on local counselors and therapists, as well as business leaders in the community to come in and talk about a variety of topics that came directly from parents and that things that they were interested in, topics that they were interested in hearing about. So you'll see here kind of a weekly, we meet every Wednesday night, and the doors open at 5:30 with a family-friendly meal that parents only pay $5 for. And we feed the whole family, and we eat together as a big family, and then we have free childcare. So the kids are taken to an area where they can participate in games and whatever, and the program starts at 6 o'clock, and the way we've set it up is for the industry professionals to introduce the topic and talk about some key talking points, but then to serve as a facilitator for discussions among parents, because what we really want is those close relationships built among parents so that they feel like there's someone to rely on, because especially in the current climate with mental health being so in the forefront of what we need to talk about, we need to make it safe for parents to talk to each other about the struggles that they see.
And interestingly enough, we have had a lot of people that come back again and again. It's actually not for the really a cost-effective meal. But we have found that over time, a lot of people talk to us about maybe filming these sessions or some of that, but really our end in mind, exactly like what Shay said, is to really, truly connect people. And so it's interesting to see the families that keep coming back, maybe even if their children are not necessarily the ages of the particular topic that we're discussing. And it really is like a birth to 12th grade initiative. These are just some of the topics that we've talked about this year.
We've some of our really, the ones that foster the most discussion have to do with social media and technology and the use of that and how to establish safe boundaries around those topics. So that is a really good one. And anytime we talk about transitioning kids from elementary to middle, from middle to high, we get a lot of, and we've partnered with counselors vertically to come in and talk about kind of hot topics at those different levels, and those are very well attended.
The other ones that I think have been particularly helpful, we owe a lot of gratitude to some of the industry professionals that Shay mentioned. We have a pediatrician that has come actually and done 2 sessions already. She's going to do a third in the spring. But all of these people are seeing the same problems in their industry. And this particular pediatrician was talking about not so many years ago, it was rare to have a child in one of the rooms in the office that was struggling with depression or anxiety. And she says, in just a short amount of time, almost all of the rooms have children who are struggling with those things. So these people from outside of education are coming and volunteering. We don't pay them at all. They come, they volunteer their time. They are so open and generous to parents. And I think it's lovely because they do their little presentation piece and then the parents have a short Q&A. And then more than anything, they sit at the table and they join us, because they're parents too, and they join us and we literally trade ideas about healthy nutrition or sleep schedules or how to help talk to your child who may be overwhelmed about school or athletics or whatever. So that has been really, truly a partnership across the board. We owe them a lot of gratitude for that. And then also, we have just some other people to thank too that have been really helpful.
Yes, and they've helped to help with the cost of the food. And again, we don't pay any of our speakers, so they do that strictly voluntarily. But they've helped to make it possible on both sides of the equation for us to be able to feed families who come to visit.
And if you, so all of this kind of operates off of our website. We have a West Community Connect website. If you want more information, hello, beautiful children, there is, you can visit our website. And like as we said, originally this was set up to serve the families in the West community of schools. But we've actually found we've had a couple of calls from...
We've had calls from outside the county.
Yeah, that's true.
Of people willing or wanting to come and at parents asking, I saw your website, someone saw it on Facebook or saw it on Instagram and we're interested in coming. And of course, we would never turn a family away who wants to come regardless of where they're from, but definitely outside of our vertical cluster too.
Yeah.
We've had people attend from the North cluster. We've had students from Midway, at Kelly Mill. So we've had several people come.
And I think these people are, again, it just depends on the topic. So all of it is digital and it's super easy for people to access. You can see our event schedule and then literally parents just go in and they click on one of these things and they sign up. They can buy the whole series. And then it flags us. We know how much food to order for the most part. And then it's pretty sustainable. Our intention at this point is really to open it up to the entire district because I think parents are talking to other parents in sports or church or what have you, and that's really our entire intention behind it, is just to build a place where people can come and have very real conversations about the things that are a struggle. If you are interested and if you're not able to attend a session, we do have a blog, and so we do a blog after every session so that people can follow or catch up or get information. It is also an opportunity there for us to thank our sponsors, our food sponsors, and also the professionals that come and spend their time. Questions?
What kind of participation do you have?
It really depends on the
just a
session. I would
range,
say
just a range.
the smallest was 15 or 17, and the largest was like 55 maybe, something like that.
Just curious.
I think it really depends on the session.
Topic, right.
I like that the time is just it's a reasonable amount of time. It's not a huge commitment. It's enough to get there, have a nice little relaxing dinner, and still get home in a decent hour and do homework.
Right. I think that's definitely our elementary lens on that, because that was the feedback we got from parents, was we really need to be able to leave by 7 o'clock so that we can get people home and bathed and...
The other piece of feedback that we've gotten, and we have a team, like I said, there are a couple of parents that are on this steering committee with us, and then we actually have reached out to the schools and tried to get a person from each school to kind of sit in as we go into planning for next year. And really some of the feedback we've gotten from parents already is that to have it on a consistent night each week might be a little difficult, because if your child is involved in something specific, they may have practice every Wednesday night, and it makes it not possible for them to attend anything. So we're looking through the spring at maybe some different timing options and those types of things. And eventually, I mean, we're really honestly looking for a location change too. We don't really want it to be an elementary initiative. We don't want it to be a Vickery initiative. We used that because the principal let us use the building. And because we could fall back on technology if it didn't work well, we, could provide the childcare. So I think as it grows, we're looking to kind of expand some of those things and provide maybe a more centralized location for all families.
What about time commitment from staff? I mean, this is a huge commitment.
Tired.
Yeah. I mean, so is it the same staff pretty much every
It's us,
Wednesday,
yes.
Wednesday night doing this?
Yeah.
Wow,
But-
that's just,
But I may have shared this with you. The truth of it is, we both are very tired on Wednesdays. And at about 5 o'clock, we're both thinking, what were we thinking? And then when people come in and we either get something, I mean, honestly, I have gained so much for my personal family from other parents who are just doing the same thing I'm doing and trying to figure it all out. Either from that or watching some of the families that we maybe know their struggles and they're coming and being able to make use of that, or watching the same families come back again. It's completely worth it.
yeah.
Every bit of it.
I'm sure it's re-energizing, but it's also, just speaks volumes about how you guys go above and beyond to serve your community, which is not unrecognized and very much appreciate it. You mentioned the social media conversation and just, that's an issue throughout the district. In fact, at our next Parent and Community Advisory, Kristen Duschel is presenting on digital citizenship, and I'm really hoping that will get more information out because we've got a great toolbox on our website.
We do.
Hard to know exactly how much that's being utilized, but we want to make sure our community knows those resources are available, and it's a great conversation for families to have about, the proper use and how much time, and our kids are plugged in. We know they're plugged in. The challenge is getting them to unplug. And I love what you said at the beginning about, it'd be one thing to film this, but you don't get the same, you're not going to get the
Same
same.
connection.
Yeah, the same connection. It's just so important, and I love the family-style meal you sit down, and, that's where great conversations take place. So just kudos to you guys for going above and beyond, as you always do.
Thank you. It's been our pleasure.
Great job. Thank you.